Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel and thank you so much for tuning in with me today. So in today's video, I'm going to be doing a full face of makeup with ILLAMASQUA products. And the reason why I wanted to do that is because I am very fearful that this brand might be shutting down very soon. I am saying that because it is always a little bit suspicious if a brand has a very steep discount on all of their products for a certain amount of time. And ILLAMASQUA is 60% off everything, not just specific products. The entire brand is 60% off. Now, I don't have any insight into why this is happening to ILLAMASQUA. I do have some suspicions. I can only assume certain things. But in general, I don't really know what's going on. I wasn't the only one to go over onto their Instagram and actually ask them, are you shutting down? They have not responded to anyone asking this question. So if you have some extra information, I would appreciate it if you could share them in the comment section down below why you may think that this is happening to ILLAMASQUA. It is really a shame because ILLAMASQUA was such a pioneer in the makeup game. Like, they were founded in 2008, so they have been around for a long time. And I just remember that they were so popular, especially in the UK. Like, this is a British brand, and back then you could not escape ILLAMASQUA. And they were really praised for their innovative textures, their innovative colors, their shades. I mean, it's such an amazing, iconic makeup brand. And honestly, I would be really disappointed if they would just disappear. So in case you've never heard of ILLAMASQUA, or in case you love ILLAMASQUA, now is the time to actually pick something up, because I am not sure for how long this makeup brand is going to still be around. But I definitely took advantage of this sale and I did pick up some products. Some of them I only recently picked up, and we're going to be testing them together in today's video. But for the base products, I definitely do have my thoughts put together, because I've been using these products for a long time by now. And others are going to be first impressions. So I really hope that you are going to be enjoying this video. If you do, why not give it a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel for more beauty content, and don't forget to ring the bell in order to get notified about my upcoming videos. You guys know that is very much appreciated. So thank you so much. And if you would like to pick something up by ILLAMASQUA, I am going to be listing and linking all of the products in my description box down below. So thank you so much if you are using these links. That's going to support my channel. I definitely do appreciate that. I did purchase all of these products myself. ILLAMASQUA unfortunately did not send me anything. So that's pretty much everything that I wanted to say for the intro. So let's start applying these beautiful products by ILLAMASQUA onto my face. Now, usually I would start with a primer. However, I did not pick up their primer. They have a hydrating primer and they've got a mattifying primer. Let me know if you've tried them out and if they are worth picking up. Drop me a comment. But I'm just going to start off with my favorite primer in the world. I'm going to use my Hourglass Vanish Airbrush Primer. I'm going to apply that off camera. I'm going to zoom you guys in, and then we're going to be applying a little bit of lip prep together. All right, you guys are zoomed in. I have applied my Hourglass primer meanwhile. And we're going to be starting off with some lip prep, because I do have a product that you could actually use as a lip prep step. So this is the Hydra Lip Tint by ILLAMASQUA. These Hydra lip tints are so special. I'm telling you, when we are going through these products, you'll see why these were so innovative. And look at that. I mean, have you seen a lip tint like this? So they have these lip tints in 5 different shades. I do have the shade Picnic Plum. They are very sheer though on the lips. They are like a hydrating lip balm, really nourishing, really nice. But just look how cool these are, right? So if you are a fan of color theory in makeup, you would love this brand. You would definitely like the innovation that this brand did already back in the day, right? With these color products. And that's what I really enjoy about the brand. It is fun to use and it's great quality. So I'm just going to be applying a little bit of this onto my lips, and then we're going to be moving on to the base products. I mean, it's pretty sheer, but it will definitely give your lips like a beautiful tint. And this plum shade is so beautiful. This gives me like a dusty sort of mauvey tint to my lips. It's really flattering if you have a cool undertone, I'm telling you. You could also just wear this like that, you know, you could also wear this as a lip color. Very much high shine. It feels amazing on the lips, I'm telling you. It feels so nourishing and really conditioning to the lips, you know. It's not like one of these thick, balmy, stiff products. This glides over your lips with ease. They definitely did something cool with these lip tints. So really great product. So let's move on to the foundation. Now I actually do have two different foundations, one that I'm going to be applying and the other one I'm going to show you some B-roll footage, because obviously there is one foundation that I do prefer over the other one, and it has to do in general with the finish. One of them is more matte and the other one is a little bit glowier. And of course, if you have watched any of my videos in the past, you do know that I do prefer a matte finish. So this is the ILLAMASQUA Skin Base Foundation. This foundation really feels like a second skin. It's so beautiful. It has flexible coverage. You can build the coverage up definitely to a fuller coverage, or you can just use a little bit of product, right, to have a lighter coverage. It's so flexible, this product. It's amazing. Now, this foundation does come with 26 shades. One big downside about their complexion products, about their foundations in general, is the fact that the depiction online is very bad. It's very poor, because when you look at the arm swatches, they all look the same. They are so weird, the arm swatches. And in general, they forgot to do a description. Like, I don't know what has a pink undertone. So the only way to be sure that you get a good shade match is if you do the shade matcher on their website. They have this tool where you can put in a foundation that matches you, and they will tell you what shade would suit you the best. And this tool is actually good. So I have this in the shade SB08. I would describe this shade as more of a light or a light to medium, because I honestly don't know what the shade description is. I'm just guessing, with a little bit more of a neutral, leaning, rosy, cool undertone. I'm gonna just take out a little bit onto my fingers. The texture here, it's gonna run down eventually. So it's not too thick, but it's also not watery. You know, it's not gonna like run down, but it's quite lightweight on the skin. So let's start with a little bit of product. I always use a dampened sponge with this foundation. Now you could also use this on a brush. You know, works either way. I honestly think this is more of a light to medium shade now that I'm applying it again. Definitely more of a light to medium. It literally looks like I'm not wearing any makeup. This is so not makeup-y, and it is just such a beautiful finish. Definitely more on the matte side without being cakey, without being, you know, flat. So with just a little bit of product, I was able to achieve a pretty decent medium coverage, I would say. Like, this is, I can still see a little bit of redness. I can still see my skin peeking through, and I think it looks so natural. This is such a good foundation, you guys. I'm telling you, this is so amazing. So let me do the other side as well. And then maybe I'm gonna be building it up a little bit just to show you how much coverage you can actually achieve with this product. All right, so here is my face with a little bit of the product. This was not that much product. I mean, maybe I squeezed out 2 drops, like 2 bigger drops, honestly. And this gave me a beautiful medium coverage. This foundation is skin perfecting. It is also not something that's gonna stay tacky on your skin, like that's gonna stay wet on your skin. This will dry down, but it's not gonna dry down in a way where it wouldn't stay flexible. Like, you can definitely build this foundation up and it won't disrupt the very first layer that you put down. So that's what we're gonna be doing. I'm gonna apply a little bit more, and you'll see that this is definitely a buildable formula. And it's also so blurring. Like, I feel like this is, it's just such a good foundation. I really, really like it. It's just makes the skin look flawless, really. And I just really have been enjoying this so much. It is also so lightweight on the skin. It is really one of the best foundations that I have in my collection. And I think this is a very popular foundation in general. They actually do have another foundation, and I also have that one, and I've tried this out multiple times. And this is the ILLAMASQUA Beyond Foundation. So here it is. I actually do have the shade MR1. That's the shade that I am using. I'm going to show you some footage where I'm applying this. I also apply this with a dampened sponge. This also has like more medium coverage. I don't really love building this up too much because this is a very different texture. This one is a little bit more thick in texture, just a little bit. It's still very much lightweight on the skin. I actually really like it on the skin. And it definitely has some hydration to it though. Like it's very hydrating, quite glowy, but it still blends out beautifully. This is one of these glowy foundations that if I use a little bit of powder with this product, it's gonna look fine. It's not as long wearing, I would say, as the one that I just applied. I feel like that one is just sticking around a little bit longer on my face, but that's also because I have a little bit more oily leaning skin. So if you have dry skin, you may not even have an issue with the longevity of this product whatsoever. I just felt like this did not hold up as well as this other one. The other one outperforms a lot of foundations that I have in my collection. This one, again, it's not completely up my alley. I still use it from time to time though. I think it's a beautiful foundation. It really does make your skin look healthy, but in general, I'm not the biggest fan of a glowy, dewy type of foundation. And this is definitely a little bit more that type of finish. So I do prefer this a lot more, but however, this is not a bad product whatsoever. So let's actually move on to the next product. Let's talk about the concealer. So this is the Skin Base Concealer Pen. They also have a different concealer, more of a cream concealer. I don't have that. I do have this pen. It's a really nice concealer. It's lovely. I've got this in the shade L3. You gotta click the back for the product to come out, and the product is gonna come out like that. This has one of these metal applicators that will help with depuffing your eyes. It's actually really cooling. It's a little bit more on the peach side as well. Peachy rosy, I would say. Very thin texture, quite luminous finish. Does not have like full coverage, okay? So that's why I'm applying a little bit more of the product. In general, I don't really love like these clicky pans with concealers. I always prefer a doe foot. I just feel like it's just a little bit easier to manage the amount of product that is coming out. I'm gonna use a sponge to blend the concealer out. That is really stunning, you guys. I have to say, this is also a little bit of a newer product to me. I never really had their concealers. I picked this one up a couple of weeks ago. When I apply this concealer, it looks really radiant, really luminous, but once it's kind of like drying down, I feel like it kind of loses the luminosity and a little bit of the hydration as well. But otherwise I like it, you know, it's more of a medium coverage. I mean, if you would use a brush, maybe you could achieve a little bit more coverage straight away. I was using a dampened sponge, just keep that in mind. But I do prefer blending out my concealers with a dampened sponge in general. It just looks a little bit more smooth. But yeah, I mean, I like it. I really like it. I think it's a good one. And right now, this retails for £9.60. So if you ever wanted a good click pen, maybe look into this. You know, all of the shades are still in stock as of me filming this right now. I'm just gonna proceed with a little bit of an eye primer. I mean, this is my eye primer that I'm using all the time. It's like an eye primer slash concealer for my eyelids. And I'm just gonna use, of course, my Sigma eyeshadow base primer. I'm just gonna do that real quick and then I'll be right back. All right, so before we are actually setting the face with some powder, I do have two products that I want to apply underneath powder. And I definitely do want to apply this one because I feel like this product in particular was so iconic for the brand, so innovative for the time when this was released. They were so ahead of the game with this product, and a lot of people love this product. This definitely has a cult following, I'm telling you. So this is the Gel Sculpt by ILLAMASQUA. So this is a unique contouring gel that gives subtle definition to your complexion. I did pick up the shade Outline, and it has like a purple undertone. But when this goes onto the skin, it's just such a beautiful color because this is very sheerly pigmented. When I apply this, I can feel the cooling. It's very, very interesting. Now, you could actually draw a line onto your face. No issue with this formula because this formula is quite sheer. However, I don't really love doing that, you know. I always go in with my brush. I always just take this on a brush from the stick like that. So let's apply where I would contour just a little bit. It is such a beautiful shade, you guys. It is honestly really, really pretty. And every time I apply this, I'm like, whoa, this feels so cooling, even if I just take it onto my brush and apply it. And you would not think that this would work on my skin tone, but it's actually working really, really well. Creates a beautiful shadow effect. And I'm so glad that I finally tried this product out. I'm also going to take this onto my nose. I'm going to do a little bit of nose contouring with this. I mean, that is such an interesting shade, and I feel like on my nose, it works so well. Like this contouring shade is beautiful. It is really sheer, but it's just so believable, you know? Really works, and I love this formula. So let's also use a little bit of a blush for my cheeks. So this is the color Veil by ILLAMASQUA. So this is actually a gel to cream hybrid blusher with a long-lasting wear and buildable pigment. This comes in 6 different shades. I do have the shade Frisson, which is this beautiful, cool-toned, rosy pinky shade. Look at that. Like, this is an interesting texture, you guys. This is like a bouncy gel. Like, honestly, it kind of gives me pudding vibes. Like, this has a pudding consistency. This is the shade. I'm gonna apply it to my hand first. Look at that beautiful shade. That is so stunning. I'm gonna take it onto my hand and then work it into a brush and apply it onto my cheeks. And it's just such a beautiful product because, again, this is just gonna look like your skin. It's not gonna look like makeup. It's so natural, and it's just gonna melt into the skin. It's so beautiful. Like, honestly, these two products, like the gel bronzer and this gel blush, I really like it. I really, really like it. It's so easy to use as well. I'm always taking it also just a little bit onto my forehead, because if I don't do that, it just looks very bizarre. I think this is stunning. I really love it. It looks so natural, so fresh, so beautiful, not over the top glowy too. But all right, so let's move on to setting my face actually with powder. I feel like this concealer really wants to be set. They have 2 different ones. They've got a pressed version and they have a loose version. Now, I actually do have both, so maybe we can apply both of them. I might be applying the one that is a little bit more tinted just on my forehead. I love this loose powder. It's so, so, so good. So let's start off with this one. So this is the ILLAMASQUA loose powder. And I also have the ILLAMASQUA skin-based pressed powder. So here is the loose powder. It's a translucent loose powder. It comes with 15 grams of product, so there is a lot of product in this. Now, in terms of the pressed powder, I actually have a shade medium 1. This one right here. This is still pretty new to me. The loose powder, I had that one for a while. We could use this one maybe on my forehead because we already have laid down a blush and a little bit of contouring. I don't actually want to change the color too much. So I feel like, yeah, the forehead might be the best place. I'm just going to take out a little bit of the powder. It is very finely milled and it's so blurring. It's such a beautiful powder. So yeah, I took a little bit on my powder puff. Let's set the face with this powder. It's such a good powder. This powder is blurring. It is so beautiful. I mean, this is stunning. It's such a stunning product. Their loose powder is really, really good. This is also great if you want to bake. I'm gonna take a powder brush in a second and just dust the excess away. It is one of these foundations where I feel like could be fine without powder, and I rarely say that. So let's go with the pressed version onto my forehead. I'm gonna use a brush. I'm not so sure if I would want to use a powder puff. This is also a very pretty powder. Has a little bit of coverage, but not over the top. It's very, like, sheerly pigmented, you know. It's not strongly pigmented in that sense. All right, so my face is all set. I will say I love both of these powders. Both of these powders are great. They do an amazing job. It just really depends on what you prefer. If you prefer a loose powder over a pressed powder, I mean, they've got both of these options. If you like a translucent powder versus a tinted powder, I just think their powders are amazing. So before I'm going to be moving on to the powder bronzer, the blush, and the highlighter, I'm going to be filling in my eyebrows off camera. I don't have an eyebrow product by ILLAMASQUA, so I'm just going to be using what I always use, and I'll be right back. All right, I am back. My brows are alive again. Of course, I used my Rare Beauty Brow Harmony pencil, and I also used my Kosas Airbrush. The usual suspects, basically. So let's actually move on to the powder bronzer. So this is the color correcting bronzer glint. This is a very interesting product. I actually featured this bronzer in the video where I recommended 15 or even more bronzers that are suitable for a cool undertone. This actually does come in 3 shades. There is a light shade, a medium shade, and a dark shade. Could be a little bit better in terms of the shade selection. The light shade is a little bit too light for me. I can pull it off in the winter time, but in the summertime it's definitely too light, so I also did pick up the medium shade. Now, what is cool about this bronzer? Look at that. This is innovative, right? I mean, this blue stripe, you don't see that every day. Now, there are 2 different shades here, one that has a little bit more of a pinker undertone and one that has a little bit more of a golden undertone. So if you use all 3 together, you can definitely do that. You know, you're gonna get more of a neutral sort of like shade. If you only use this, that's kind of interesting if you have a cool undertone. So this is the light shade, right? I'm also going to show you the medium shade. Medium is right here, light is right here. So I'm going to go with the light shade today, and I'm going to use these 2 shades mainly. I'm literally going to saturate my brush a little bit, and I'm going to lightly tap it right here. It is a beautiful formula, and I really like the undertone. It's really, really pretty. Let's bring it up a little bit. Let's do the other side as well. It will definitely work right now because we are in the midst of winter. Every time I'm wearing this, I really love it because it's a little bit more subtle on me, but it's doing an amazing job in just warming up my skin slightly without having like orange on my face, you know? Such a beautiful product, such a beautiful powder formula. Really, really have been enjoying it. All right, so let's move on to the powder blush. So this is the powder blusher by ILLAMASQUA. Now, I just picked up the shade Katie, and this is just like a pale pinky sort of shade. I will say maybe this product right here might be the least exciting one. It's just a powder blush. It is an okay shade. It's not over the top pigmented. It is okay. So whenever I do dip my brush into this blush, look what happens. There is so much kickback, and I'm not doing this aggressively. I'm just like tapping. So yeah, this product, I don't know. I feel like this blush has a lot of, like, this definitely has a white base to it. So another thing to keep in mind. I just don't understand the kickback on this product. Like, I have to be so careful with this. But yeah, this is definitely cooling down everything. It's a beautiful shade though. I like these cool toned pinky shades on my skin. I actually do like it. I just don't think it's like necessarily a must-have product, you know. It's not bad and it looks beautiful. Their powder products are amazing. All right, so my blush is applied, so let's move on to the product that started it all. This was my first product that I've ever picked up by this brand, and this made me fall in love with this brand because this is still one of my all-time favorite highlighters until this day. It is so, so, so good. So this is the Beyond Powder Highlighter by ILLAMASQUA. I should have cleaned this product, but to be honest, you can see how much I'm using this. I freaking adore this highlighter. I use this so, so much. This is so beautiful. I actually do have it in 2 shades, but there is one shade that I just prefer, and it's this one. This is the shade OMG. Oh my gosh. So this is amazing. This is such a good highlighter. This has a little bit of that peachier undertone. It is very, very unique in my collection. So this is the shade that I do prefer. I also have the shade Days, and the shade Days looks like this. And you would assume that this would be more up my alley, but unfortunately this pulls a little bit neon pink on me. I'm going to be using this shade right here on my nose and on my Cupid's bow, and it's just giving you that beautiful glow, like that wet look. It is so stunning. Like, this is just, it's special. It is, the reflection, it's like glass skin. This is exactly the type of highlighter formula that I adore. So I have not used this one in a hot minute. I'm gonna just use it a little bit, but let's see. Oof, this is pink. That's why I don't like it that much. It is straight up pink. I like a pink highlighter, but this is, it's almost like too deep of a pink, you know? It's almost like a hot sort of pink. I'm gonna go back to my OMG shade because that's the one that I just prefer a little bit more. Let's continue here with this OMG shade. This is more of a golden sort of peachy shade, but it's just giving you that wet glow from within. Okay, but my complexion is done, and I've got to say, I really, really love this look. I love how everything is coming together. So let's move on to the eyes. Now, I do want to mention one thing though about the eye products. I have 2 eyeshadow palettes and I have a mascara, none of which I've ever tried before. So this is going to be the part of the video that is going to be a first impressions, because I told you I took advantage of the 60% off sale. So these were products that I never had. Most of the products that I just showed you were in my collection for a little bit longer, but the eye products and also the next lip products. I mean, the Hydra Tint, I've been using that for a long time, but I also picked up some newer lip products and none of them I've ever tried before. So those are going to be some first impressions. Just keep that in mind. But yeah, I did pick up 2 of these eyeshadow palettes because, I mean, they were very much reduced and I just wanted to have a little bit of selection here. So I did pick up the Elemental Artistry eyeshadow palette, and I also did pick up the Unveiled Artistry eyeshadow palette. But yeah, I don't really know anything about the formulas, so, you know, this is gonna be interesting. I'm gonna show you some swatches. Right now they are still untouched, but I'm gonna be doing these swatches after the video, so at least you can see the swatches already. So maybe I'm gonna like use some of these mattes, and then I'm gonna use a shimmer from this palette. So I'm going to start off with this shade. So this shade is actually called Hamlet. Again, the shade names are on the back of the palette. And I'm just going to put this into my crease and blend it out a little bit. Use this a little bit like a base. I wish the mirror was a little bit bigger. I can only see my eyes, but that's okay. In the pan, it almost looks like more of like a lighter beigey shade, but on my eyes, it really pulls like a mid-tone brown. That was unexpected, but I actually like it. I actually really like it. Blends out beautifully. What should we do? I'm gonna have a look into this palette now. Oh yeah, there is a shade that I definitely do want to use. This one right here. I want to use this. This might add a little bit of rosiness. Let me just check what this is gonna do. Yes, this is definitely a little bit rosier, a little bit warmer. Okay, I'm gonna go back into the Elemental eyeshadow palette, and I'm just gonna use this shade right here, this lighter sort of peachy pink. Right now, I really like where this is going. It looks really, really pretty, and I really like the formula. I feel like these shades do blend out very, very well. So I'm gonna use the shade Heather, this one right here. It's almost like an actual white shade. I'm just gonna use this for my inner corner a little bit, just to brighten this part up slightly. Do you know what? I might actually do my outer corners with the purple instead of the brown. I'm gonna go in with the shade Medea now, just to make the transition a little bit more even. Think I'm gonna leave it like that for my upper eye. I'm gonna put something in my waterline, and then for my lower lash line, I might be going in with this shade, the one that we just used just to, you know, create a little bit more of a gradient. This one right here, and the darker purple on my outer edges. I'm gonna be doing that off camera and then I'll be right back. Okay, so I am back. I basically used these three shades. I know I've not used that much of this because it's quite warm. However, I'm left with this now for my shimmers. And I think that's the one I'm going to be using. I might be using this very light sort of champagne-y gold in my inner corner, but this is what I feel like I could put all over my lid. I mean, looks very metallic. Looks like a beautiful rosy sort of brownish shade. So let's just put this shade all over my lids. It's so weird not having any glitter primer on. Oh my gosh, that is quite weird. That is very strange. I'm actually gonna try this with a brush. I don't know if my finger here is the best choice. These shimmers are really creamy. They do blend out well, they do pick up great with a brush. So let's highlight my inner corner. Unfortunately, there is no cool toned shade in any of these palettes, like a light cool tone shade. I'm left with this, and it's pretty golden. Nonetheless, we're just gonna use this. But yeah, these are very creamy. Well, let's see if this is gonna work as a highlighter. Oh, this is straight up gold. Ooh. I'm gonna use this. I'm gonna try this one because I feel like maybe this is gonna save the look a little bit. Not that it's looking bad with the gold. I just wanted to do something a little bit more cool toned because of the overall look. Yes, this is gonna save the look. Oh yeah, this is exactly what I wanted to do. But these were really, really easy to use. Not patchy, none of that. You could build them up. And yeah, so I'm not mad that I actually picked them up. I mean, I got 60% off of these. So I think I'm going to be using them whenever I want something like matte heavy. I would definitely reach into these a little bit more for the mattes than for the shimmers. Are the shimmers a disaster? Definitely not. I still feel like Lawless makes worse shimmers right now than ILLAMASQUA did back in the day. So it's okay. It's okay. It's not the best. It's not the worst, but I love the mattes. The mattes are great. So let's actually move on to a mascara. I do have a mascara by ILLAMASQUA. I've never tried it. So we're going to be opening up this one together. So this is the ILLAMASQUA Infinite Mascara. Oh, this actually has an applicator that I might like, because I like the shape of this. It has fiber bristles. Usually I do prefer silicone bristles, but let's see what it's gonna do. Of course, I'm gonna update you in the notes after I've applied it, if this has smudged, if this has flaked off, or if this has done something weird. Because I know a first impressions on a mascara is not that useful. It can be only useful for the application process, but not in terms of how it performed. I get that. So the Infinite Mascara, it does say progressive bristle brush provides maximum length and definition for a light and flexible finish. It says coming soon, so maybe they are going to be restocking it because it's currently out of stock. Let's see. I mean, you guys, is this another hidden gem by them? Look at that. I mean, my lashes are like lifted. The formula itself is a little bit more on the drier side. It's not like a wet mascara. This is more of a drier formula, to be honest. So I'm just going to do the other side as well. Love how my lashes are looking. I will say the only thing that I noticed about this is that when you build this one up, it can kind of like sometimes leave a little ball at the tip of your lash. So just go over it until the ball disappears and it's fine. I mean, I'm going to be leaving a note right here if this mascara has smudged, if it has flaked off, if there were any other issues, they're gonna be right here. Okay, so let's move on to the lips. Now I have two lipstick formulas, and in case you have not watched the beginning of my video, just remember I did apply the Hydra tint at the very start of the video, in case you did not watch the video from start to finish. Okay, so this is in the beginning of the video, but I have a matte lipstick and I have a shiny lipstick. I'm just going to be applying both of them just to show you guys. So let's start off with the matte finish first. So this is the Ultra Matte lipstick. I don't have the lip gloss formula. I don't have the anti-matte lipstick. So I have this in the shade Dusk. I do want to say though, online the shade looks very different than in real life. When I got the lipstick, I almost questioned myself if I picked up the right shade. This looks so much warmer. I thought I picked up like a cool toned sort of like brown shade. And when I look at that, it's almost looking red. It's so bizarre. What are we thinking about this lip liner? This is actually by Sweet Beauty. It's the shade Rose Thorn. I think I'm going to be applying this one. These lip liners by Sweet Beauty, I'm telling you, amazing formula. Love them. I'm going to be linking them in my description box as well because they are so fantastic. All right, but let's actually apply the shade Dusk in the Ultra Matte lipstick formula. And let's see how the shade actually looks on my lips. I'm telling you, it looks so different online. This looks like, yeah, a rosy shade. That's why this Rose Thorn lip liner works so well with this shade. But man, do I love this formula. This formula is amazing. It feels like, honestly, it feels almost like weightless on the lips. And it's so nicely pigmented, plus it's so blurring. It is super blurring on the lips. I love it. I love this formula. They also have some funky shades right here. I mean, they have a shade like this. Wow. Like that is a cool shade to have. So I'm gonna wipe this one off and we are gonna be moving on to this other lipstick that I picked up. And to be honest, I do prefer a matte lipstick, but I also picked up this lipstick in particular because I saw this shade and I was like, oh my gosh, I want it. I want to try it out. So this is the Sheer Veil lipstick by ILLAMASQUA. I saw this shade Soufflé and I was like, you know what? I really want to try this one out. Look at that. You guys know how much I love a good brown lipstick. And because this is quite sheer, I suppose it's not going to pull too dark. I've never tried this one out. Okay, so I actually took this lip liner. This is by Iconic London. It's their Fuller Pout Sculpting Lip Liner in the shade TTYN. Now, I think ILLAMASQUA back in the day used to have lip liners, but they are not available anymore and I've never had them. So that's why I'm using these other brands. But let's try this shade out. Am I scared? Maybe a little bit. I just hope it's not gonna pull too dark. Let's see what this is gonna be like. Is it a little bit deeper than I thought it would be? Yes. But I also feel like the shade Soufflé might be the deepest one out of all of them. But I love a beautiful brown shade and this is stunning. This is stunning. I wish they would have this in a matte version. Okay, so this is a little bit more shiny. Was this very sheer? No, but I also do feel like because it's a little bit of a deeper shade, it's not that sheer. Yeah, I wish I could have this shade in a matte version, but I really, really like it. So that's it. This is my final look using ILLAMASQUA products. I am really intrigued to hear your thoughts. Have you tried out this brand? Are you planning to, pick up maybe a couple of products while the sale is going on, while the brand is still existing? Let me know. Do you have some theories? Maybe they're gonna get magically acquired. I don't know. I really hope so, because I would miss this brand. But all right, you guys, we shall see what's gonna happen in the future with them. Again, all of the products are gonna be listed and linked down below. So if you decide to pick something up, I would really appreciate it if you could use my links. Thank you so, so much if you do. And if you did enjoy the video, don't forget to give it a like, subscribe to my channel, and also ring the bell in order to get notified about my upcoming videos. And I shall be seeing you on here very, very soon with the next one. So please do take care. Thank you so much for watching. Bye bye.